absolutely amazing. Now, I have a major problem, and conventional economists have a major problem. Because we all learned at university, we studied at university, we worked out things like debt to GDP ratios and stuff like that. And I can tell you the debt globally is so high that we won't be able to get out of this. The only way to get out of this massive debt overhang internationally is to go through a serious economic correction, a depression kind of thing. That's what conventional economics is telling us at the moment. I can give you all the numbers. The Americans are drowning in debt. The Chinese are drowning in debt. So how do you fix that? You fix it through a number of ways. One way is simply to stop paying. And if you don't pay, then you force your economies through recessions and depressions and all sorts of things. Or you can generate a lot of inflation. Inflation also reduces debt. So I can tell you where we are. Conventionally, we are in very deep trouble, talking about the world. But still, I'm very optimistic. And why is that? Because I think we are on the verge of an explosion in human productivity because of new technological changes. And look at countries like, for example, America today. America has got the lowest unemployment levels today since the 1960s. They're making investments in technological things there, and we're going to talk a little bit about that just now. Like there's absolutely no tomorrow. And productivity, the conventional ways of measuring productivity simply does not pick up the massive increase in productivity that is happening internationally. And one day we're going to wake up and realize the economies of the world is much, much bigger. And this debt overhang has become much less of a problem. So that is one piece of silver lining that I think that we as normal economists are missing out at the moment, is this underlying productivity growth that is happening before our eyes and we cannot really see it. A very good example is cell phones. Now I've done some tests and I've done some calculations by simply looking at my own diary. I am pretty sure that since I've started using a cell phone, only a cell phone, that my personal productivity must have gone up by at least a factor of 3. At least. And it's not, no economic numbers actually show this. So that's much more is going to happen. Now, some of this technology that I'm very, very excited about is money. Money is an amazing thing. And I said money is very important because money helps us. The evolution of money becoming more sophisticated. Money helps us to reduce transaction costs. And that, of course, is really good for economic activities. So, new technology like, for example, the blockchain. And please, people, let me just, very important notice here. Don't run out and buy Bitcoin. That's not what I'm saying. Right? Stay away from these sort of things. But get used to this new technology like, for example, the blockchain. Things like the blockchain will make it easier, dramatically so, for people to transact with each other, and the more we transact, the more wealth will be created. And make sure that you understand this new technology called the blockchain. And with that, in future, we are probably going to see new kinds of monies. Politicians will have much less control over money because of the nature of this specific technology. Banking and payment systems will change dramatically. Banks may disappear the way we understand what banks are supposed to do. And in the future, it will become so much easier to transact with anybody, anywhere in the world. And things like, for example, foreign exchange regulations will become totally irrelevant. So that will all lead to the massive increase in productivity and a massive increase in wealth creation. And maybe a last comment, and slightly on a philosophical level. I started off by saying, what is this thing that we call a country? And I defined it the way I understand a country, nothing but an agreement between individuals. I'm sure you all belong to WhatsApp groups. I'm sure many of you are on Facebook, or on some other kind of social media, or grouping. Isn't that perhaps what the future is going to look like for societies? Are we not in the future going to belong to virtual countries? Are we not in the future going to join the Flat Earth Society? and use their currency and create wealth somewhere, digitize this, and trade with each other somewhere in the cloud. Is that not perhaps the future of humankind? Are we still going to need this geographic area that we need, what we call a country? Are we still going to have politicians telling us what to do, how to run our lives anymore? And I've got a suspicion, no. I think in future that the pendulum will swing back again, and because of new technologies, and because of very special skills that we're going to have, and we are acquiring special skills, and because we're going to live to the ripe old age of 120 or who knows how old, the future is going to look completely different. We will be much more productive, we will be much freer, it's going to be a much more dangerous world, because in this world it will be easier for me to hide my activities and to send money to terrorist organizations, as an example, because I can hide my activities much more. But I prefer a world with fewer regulations and rules, because the fewer regulations and rules in a society, the more important it becomes for me as an individual to be able to distinguish between right and wrong. And the more rules you have in a society, the less important it becomes for the individual to be able to distinguish between right and wrong. Thank you for listening to me.